Hey everyone, and welcome back. Take a moment right now and notice where your attention is. Are you fully present? Or is a part of your mind already drifting, perhaps to a notification, a to-do list, or a thought from earlier today? In our hyper-connected world, it often feels like we're caught in a relentless current, constantly pulled in countless directions. Every app, every headline, every interaction seems to be vying for a piece of your focus. But what if I told you there's a much deeper, more profound reason for this constant assault on your attention span? What if I told you that your attention isn't just a fleeting mental resource, something you either have or you don't, but that it's actually the currency of God? Think about that for a moment. The currency of God. On a metaphysical level, this isn't just a powerful metaphor. It's a foundational truth about how reality is structured and how you interact with it. And whether you fully realize this or not, there is a very real, almost insidious agenda at play designed to quite literally diminish and fragment your attention. If your attention span is shrinking, if you feel perpetually scattered and unable to focus on what truly matters, then energetically, you're essentially going bankrupt of this divine currency. And this divine currency is the fundamental energetic exchange that allows for us to shift, mold, and ultimately create our realities. In this deep dive, I'm not only going to illuminate how the deliberate destruction of your attention span is directly hindering your ability to manifest your desired reality, but I'm also going to equip you with the insights and tools to dramatically increase your focus, consciously redirect your energy, and most importantly, how to alchemize those moments when your old, unwanted frequencies attempt to pull you back into familiar patterns. We're going to learn how to energetically shift what you previously considered to be the rigid laws of your perceived reality and consciously move with intention towards the life you truly desire. Let's talk about a stark reality in the 21st century. Studies now suggest that for many, especially younger generations, the average human attention span has plummeted to a shockingly low 2.7 minutes. That's less than a full song, often less than the time it takes to brew a quick cup of coffee, or even read a substantial social media post. And here's the kicker, the part that might genuinely shock you. This isn't an accident. We live in a world where entire corporations, media empires, and tech giants are armed with teams of psychologists, neurologists, data scientists, and individuals holding PhDs and master's degrees. Their primary directive? To meticulously study how to psychologically capture your attention, how to hold it, and then, paradoxically, how to minimize it at the same time. Think about it. Social media algorithms that feed you endless, bite-sized content, the rapid-fire cuts in movies and TV shows designed to cater to a restless mind, the constant notifications and alerts from every device in your pocket. It's all meticulously crafted. It's designed to hook you with novelty, to keep you scrolling, clicking, and consuming, but in a way that keeps your engagement superficial and fragmented, never allowing for deep, sustained focus. They want your eyes, but not your concentrated energy. Why would they do this? Because a decreased attention span fundamentally minimizes your ability to pour meaningful energy into anything truly substantial or worthwhile in your life. Anything that requires true depth, complex understanding, genuine connection, or a significant shift in your experience demands sustained attention. If you can't focus for more than a few minutes, you cannot truly invest your life force into the aspects that hold the deepest, most transformative meaning for you. This applies to everything from cultivating profound relationships and advancing your career, to pursuing your passions, mastering a new skill, or most importantly, engaging in deep self-knowledge. You become perpetually busy but profoundly unproductive in the areas that truly elevate your life. This brings us to a crucial, often overlooked point: self-attention. I want you to honestly ask yourself, how much more attention do you give to external trends, celebrity gossip, or the latest social media challenge than you give to understanding your own inner workings? I mean, really let that question marinate. Most of us are more intimately aware of what's trending globally than we are of our own deepest fears, underlying motivations, recurring emotional patterns, or authentic desires. If you don't intentionally centralize a significant, even extreme amount of attention on your own inner landscape, you are going to remain largely unaware of what truly drives you. And any degree of unawareness of the internal will always lead to confusion, frustration, and a sense of being lost in the external world. You might be diligently watching every self-help video, reading every spiritual book, making all the right affirmations, but then you step into your daily life and wonder why the same frustrating things keep happening, why the same types of people keep showing up, or why your desires feel perpetually out of reach. It's because you haven't truly centralized enough attention on your own inner world, your own beliefs, your own energetic signature, while simultaneously staying updated on every external trend or perceived truth. This isn't about shaming or blaming you. It's about making you acutely aware of where your most powerful resource is actually being directed. Because whether you fully realize it or not, your attention, this incredible currency of God, is quite literally the very first foundational step in a powerful, undeniable chain reaction that shapes your entire reality. Attention leads to vibration. Vibration, when it gains energetic momentum, becomes a frequency. And every frequency eventually and inevitably becomes a reality. Stay with me, because this is where the profound power to consciously create your life truly begins. Before we dive deeper into this transformative chain, let's understand who or what is actually trying to weaponize your attention against you. It's not just the Matrix or some external malevolent force. While external influences exist, the most persistent and often overlooked saboteur is primarily your old frequency. Imagine your old frequency not just as a past state, but as a spiritual doppelganger. It's an energetic version of you that exists on the spiritual plane, meticulously built and sustained by the accumulation of your past emotions, repeated thoughts, and consistent experiences that resonate with your old, unwanted reality. For example, if you're striving to shift away from financial scarcity, toxicity in relationships, chronic frustration, or persistent depression, those very emotions of scarcity, anger, or sadness are energetic vibrations. When continuously repeated and nourished by your attention, they create a powerful, self-sustaining frequency, your old frequency. This entity, born out of your own mind and your past experiences, isn't malicious in a human sense. It's not evil. It's a blind intelligence. It doesn't hate you. It simply wants to continue existing because you created it. It knows only the patterns of its own creation. So, when you consciously decide to pull away from those old patterns, to shift to a new, desired reality, it's like this energetic doppelganger tugs back. It whispers doubts, it creates familiar circumstances, or it draws certain people into your orbit that try to keep you chained to its comfortable, albeit undesired patterns. That's why you often feel like you take 3 steps forward in your growth, only to get smacked back 3 steps by an unexpected setback or a resurgence of old feelings. It's your old frequency energetically trying to re-establish its dominance by subtly swaying your attention back to what it knows, what it's built from. Now let's revisit this profound concept, attention being the currency of God. Like any currency, you have 2 primary options for how you utilize it. You can spend it, or you can invest it. The vast majority of people unconsciously spend their attention frivolously, wastefully. They pour it into endless distractions, superficial entertainment, engaging in constant complaining, consumed by worry, or fixating on what they don't want in their lives. The return on that kind of spending is always, inevitably, terrible. They wonder why their realities don't change, why they feel stuck in a loop, and it's because they're unconsciously spending their divine currency on conditions and frequencies they desperately want to escape. To consciously enter and sustain your desired reality, you must begin to invest the currency of God. This is where the cliché, where attention goes, energy flows, transcends a mere saying and becomes a profound, foundational truth. It's a simple concept, yes, but often the simplest, most fundamental ideas hold the most power. I'm not here to complicate your journey. I'm here to simplify these universal laws so you can implement them immediately and create tangible, real change in your life. Attention is energy. It's concentrated consciousness. Imagine yourself wearing a virtual reality headset. When you turn your head, the world renders into your view. Before you turned, that part of the world, for your experience, didn't exist. It became a reality only when your attention was centralized towards it. Your personal reality works the exact same way. Don't truly solidify into your experienced reality until your sustained attention is placed upon them. And your sustained attention is precisely what sustains that particular reality, allowing it to persist in your experience. So, if you are currently experiencing an unwanted reality, whether it's pervasive financial struggles, persistent health issues, recurring relationship problems, or stagnation in your career, then you need to reverse engineer it. The beginning point to initiate change isn't merely focusing on a different frequency or trying to shift your vibration. The absolute starting point is your attention. It means, whether you realize it or not, your attention is fixed on an unwanted condition of reality, and that attention is literally making it real for you. The universe, the grand operating system of all reality, doesn't necessarily register the words you speak or the affirmations you repeat in the mirror. It's not checking off a list of desires based purely on your verbal declarations. What it does register, what it responds to with immutable precision, is your attention. This is why the three most crucial words you need to understand, the bedrock upon which your entire reality rests, are: attention is alignment. This is a fundamental, almost spiritual law. If we conceptualize the highest level of consciousness, often referred to as God, not as a personality in the sky, but as the impersonal, all-pervasive energy and substance of reality, like gravity, which doesn't ask for your credit score before it pulls you down, then attention is how you actively align with that universal substance. It's how you communicate your true desires to the operating system of existence. Whatever you place your attention on, you are actively aligning with. That alignment then sets in motion a specific vibration, which gains momentum and becomes a frequency, and that frequency then has no choice but to materialize as your reality. This makes attention infinitely more powerful than mere intention. You can have the purest, most heartfelt intentions in the world. You want a healthy, vibrant body, a fulfilling career, a loving relationship, financial abundance. But if your attention is consistently fixated on the lack of these things, on the problems associated with them, on the struggle to acquire them, that's ultimately what the universe will align you to. Let's take a common scenario: trying to build a new habit, say, exercising consistently. Your intention is clear. I want to be fit. I want to feel energetic. You even set your alarm, lay out your workout clothes, and sign up for a gym membership. Your conscious intention is perfectly aligned. But then, look at where your attention truly lies throughout your day. Is it on the uncomfortable feeling of waking up early? On how sore you were last time, making you dread the next workout? On the recurring thought that you never stick with anything when it comes to fitness? Or perhaps you spend your mental energy comparing yourself to seemingly perfect fitness influencers online, feeling inadequate by comparison and focusing on how far you are from their physique. Despite your strong intention to be consistent and healthy, if your attention is primarily given to the discomfort, the past failures, the feeling of inadequacy, or the overwhelming distance to your goal, you are energetically aligning with inconsistency and struggle. The universe, in its perfect mirror, isn't just listening to your verbal declarations. It's registering where your energy, Your sustained focus, your attention is truly being invested. And that consistent attention to scarcity, difficulty, and inadequacy is what you are aligning with, thus manifesting more of the same, regardless of how earnestly you want the healthy body. So how do we shift this fundamental dynamic? How do we stop inadvertently aligning with what we don't want, even when our intentions are pure? This brings us to a powerful, often overlooked concept known as the hermetic law of neutralization, a true form of alchemy at its finest. Every single time you encounter a condition, a circumstance, or an event in your reality, you are not presented with a solidified, predetermined choice. Instead, you are presented with a menu of energetic possibilities. Your old frequency, in its clever attempt to pull you back into its familiar patterns, will try to convince you that the choice has already been made for you, that you have no option but to react with frustration, anger, despair, or resignation. This, my friends, is a trick. Because in every unwanted condition or circumstance in reality, there is a hidden seed of wanted. This isn't always obvious. In fact, the most obvious reaction to adversity is almost always a trick of the old frequency. That default, knee-jerk negative energy, the complaining, the blaming, the feeling overwhelmed, is precisely what your old frequency thrives on. It's the path of least resistance, the easy way to react. Consider this. You're driving to an incredibly important job interview or client meeting, already feeling a bit stressed about the stakes, and suddenly your tire blows out. The immediate, obvious reaction? Frustration, anger. Why me? Thoughts of being late, the unexpected cost, the sheer inconvenience, the potential impact on your career. This is your old frequency nudging you, saying, "See, life is always hard. You're always running into problems just when things matter most." And if you allow your attention to become fixated on this negative narrative, you're literally investing your divine currency into sustaining that unwanted reality of struggle and bad luck. But what if, in that very moment of unexpected chaos, you consciously and deliberately search for the hidden seed of wanted? It's not about being naive or ignoring the practical reality. It's about consciously shifting your attention. Perhaps this unexpected delay gives you a critical, unforeseen moment to calm your nerves, review your presentation one last time, leading to a brilliant insight you wouldn't have had otherwise. Maybe it forces you to call for assistance, inadvertently connecting you with someone new who later becomes a valuable business contact. Or it could simply be an opportunity to practice radical patience, adaptability, and problem-solving under pressure, strengthening your inner resilience in a way that serves you far beyond this single incident. The unwanted situation is merely the raw, neutral material. Your attention determines what reality gets molded from it. So, how do we practically build up our attention span, this most crucial tool, which is constantly being attacked and eroded in the modern world? First, remember that a decreased attention span subtly, but powerfully, kills off the most meaningful things in your reality, one of the most important being your connection to yourself. With all due respect to your partner, your kids, your parents, or your friends, while they are incredibly important, the most meaningful and foundational person in your entire reality is you. I don't say that from a place of egotism or selfishness. I say that to energetically and metaphysically impress upon you the truth that your entire world reacts to you. If you perpetually prioritize the frequencies of others, if you give your most potent attention to external demands and dramas, you inadvertently allow the frequencies of others to structure your world, and you will perpetually be the person who comes in last. A decreased attention span depletes and quite literally destroys your ability to invest in your own well-being, growth, and deepest desires. Here are a couple of powerful, yet simple things you can consciously do to strengthen your focus and reclaim your attention. Read a book out loud with purpose. This might sound incredibly simple, even silly, But try reading a physical book out loud for a dedicated 30 minutes to an hour each day. As you're reading, consciously engage. Don't just skim with your eyes. When you read aloud, you're simultaneously engaging and concentrating two critical aspects of yourself: the verbal aspect, the act of articulating and enunciating the words correctly, and the visual aspect, the continuous focus required to follow the text as you speak it. This combination creates a powerful centralization of your attention and energy, directly strengthening your neural pathways for sustained focus. It's like a gym workout for your attention muscles. Finally, let's circle back to your old frequency. It's not just a spiritual doppelganger, it's an attention hole. Because your old frequency is an attention hole, it will subtly, often imperceptibly, sway the events, conditions, circumstances, and even the people in your reality to create one singular outcome: an emotional reaction from you. Your emotion is pure energy, and it's the most powerful source of reality. Your old frequency, like a spiritual parasite, wants that energy. It will precisely orchestrate or draw your attention to situations designed to trigger you, to generate a particular degree of emotional reaction, whether it's anger, frustration, fear, sadness, or anxiety. This emotional reaction is precisely the energy that resonates with and sustains the very negativity from which it was born. So, when things feel like they're going wrong in your reality, understand this: reality is merely presenting you with a condition. It is not presenting you with something that is inherently wrong or bad until you begin to focus your attention on the unwanted aspect of that condition, consciously or unconsciously associating it with wrong. The moment you do that, your old frequency gets fed, sustained, and maintained. It literally gets materialized back into your reality, pulling you back to where you started, or keeping you firmly rooted in the old. Like every spirit on the spiritual plane, your old frequency desires to be materialized, to become solid in your experience, by taking you back to or keeping you in your old reality. Therefore, when it shows up, when that familiar frustration, that old fear, that recurrent setback appears, you have to begin to understand that within what it's trying to give you, there is always a hidden seed of wanted reality. You just have to consciously choose to focus your attention on it. For example, let's say you're striving for a better relationship, but a new person you're dating suddenly reveals a frustrating or disappointing side. Your old frequency will immediately try to pull you into the familiar narrative. See? All relationships are like this. I always attract the wrong person. This is going nowhere. This is a profound attention hole. But if you can consciously resist that pull, you could instead focus on the fact that you were able to attract someone new into your life, indicating your capacity for connection. Or perhaps this interaction precisely highlighted a specific quality you don't want in a partner, providing invaluable clarity for your next steps, aligning you more powerfully with what you do want. Similarly, if you're an entrepreneur frustrated that your business isn't growing as fast as you want, and sales are stagnant, your old frequency will instantly tempt you to focus on the decline, the struggle, the comparison to others' success. But you could, with conscious attention, focus on the fact that you still have loyal customers who love your service, or that you have the freedom to innovate, or that this period of perceived stagnation is actually forcing you to refine your business model in a way that will lead to explosive growth later. Your old frequency will make these simple, conscious choices sound stupid, too easy, or not complex enough. It wants you to think things are more complicated because the more complicated you believe reality to be, the less conviction you'll have in these simple, foundational truths. And that's precisely how it maintains its hold, by tricking you into overthinking and underbelieving in your own inherent power. The silent war on your attention span is real. It's designed to keep you fragmented, distracted, and ultimately disempowered from consciously creating your reality. But now you understand its mechanism. You know that attention is the currency of God, and where you invest that currency determines your entire experience. You understand that your old frequency is a powerful, yet blind, energetic entity that thrives on your misdirected attention, desperately trying to pull you back into familiar patterns. But you also know that attention is alignment, and by consciously directing your focus, you are literally telling the universe what to bring into your experience, overriding any past intentions or old narratives. And crucially, you now possess the alchemical key. In every unwanted condition, there is a hidden seed of wanted. So I urge you, invest your attention wisely. Build your attention span deliberately. Centralize your focus to yourself, because you are the most important, most meaningful force in your entire reality. By mastering your attention, by consciously choosing where you invest your divine currency, you don't just win a battle. You claim absolute mastery over your destiny.